Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum dear students. Dr. Rizwan here from the Department of Biochemistry, Independent Medical College, Faisalabad. Today we will discuss a very important topic, that is the vitamins. The vitamins are naturally occurring organic compounds which are essential for the normal metabolic functions, which maintain health and promote growth. These are the essential organic compounds that are required in small amounts for the normal growth, maintenance of good health, and for the proper utilization of other nutrients. And the nutrients that our body does not make on its own, thus we must obtain them from the food we eat or via the vitamin supplements. The vitamins are mainly present in the food materials, for example in the cereals, in the fruits, in the vegetables, and the animal tissues like milk, liver, kidneys, and meat. Some vitamins are synthesized by the normal intestinal flora, which includes vitamin K, niacin, biotin, folic acid, and vitamin B12. Vitamin D, it is synthesized in the skin when it is exposed to ultraviolet radiations from the sunlight. These vitamins requirement for an individual depends upon the metabolic activity, that is the age, size, sex, nature of work, and the physiological status. The requirement is increased during the exercise, fever, diseases, and during antibiotic therapy, pregnancy, and lactations. Now coming towards the classification of vitamins. The vitamins have been classified into two main classes according to their solubility. Number one is the fat soluble vitamin, and number two is the water soluble vitamin. The fat soluble vitamins includes vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, and vitamin K. On the other hand, water soluble vitamins, they are comprising of vitamin B complex and non-B complex. The vitamin B complex are further subdivided into energy releasing vitamins and hematopoietic vitamins. The energy releasing vitamins includes the thiamine, riboflavin, niacin, pyridoxine, biotin, and pantothenic acid. They are named so, reason being the vitamins, they act as the coenzyme in energy metabolism. So they are categorized among the energy releasing B complex vitamins. The hematopoietic vitamins includes the folic acid and vitamin B12. And the second class, that is the non-B complex, it comprises of vitamin C, that is the ascorbic acid. Now we'll discuss the difference between the fat soluble and the water soluble vitamins. Starting with the fat soluble vitamins, these are soluble in fats, as the name indicates. These are absorbed along with the other lipids. They are required the carrier protein for their transportation. They are stored in the livers. The deficiency manifests only when the stores are depleted. The toxicity effects, they are shown when the hypervitaminosis may result. A single large dose of this vitamin may prevent the deficiency symptoms. It includes vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, and vitamin K. On the other hand, the water soluble vitamins, these are soluble in water. The absorption is very simple. There is no requirement of a carrier protein for their transport. They are readily excreted in urine. The deficiency manifests rapidly as there is no storage. Unlikely, since the excess is excreted, there is no toxicity effect of these water soluble vitamins. Irregular dietary supplements are required. These include the vitamin B complex and vitamin C. Some common features of lipid soluble or the fat soluble vitamins are they are hydrophobic, They are comprising of isoprene derivatives. They cannot be synthesized by the body. They are supplied by the diet, absorption along with the fat. They are transported by lipoprotein and specific binding proteins, and the surplus amount it is stored in the liver and adipose tissue. The excess consumption lead to the accumulation and resulting in the toxic effects. Starting with the first fat soluble vitamin, that is the vitamin A. Vitamin A is an essential nutrient which is needed in small amount for the normal functioning of the visual system, maintenance of the cell functions for growth, epithelial integrity, red blood cell production, immunity, and reproduction. The deficiency of vitamin A is a major nutritional concern in the poor societies, especially in the low income countries. The sources of vitamin A, it is obtained from the animal source as well as from the plant source. And the animal sources, these are known as the retinoids, and the plant sources of vitamin A, these are known as the carotenoids. The animal sources includes the egg, meat, cheese, milk and milk products, liver, kidney, and the fish liver oils. And the plant sources, it includes the carrots, sweet potatoes, apricot, broccoli, spinach, pumpkins, papaya, and mangoes. The natural and the synthetic form of vitamin A, it is known as the retinoids. And the preformed forms of vitamin A are the retinol, retinal, and the retinoic acid. The retinol, it is the alcoholic form. It presents in animal tissue as retinyl esters with a long chain fatty acids. The retinal or the retinaldehyde, it is the aldehyde form of vitamin A. It is obtained by the oxidation of retinol. The retinal and retinol, they both are interconvertible. And the third one is the retinoic acid. It is the acidic form. It is produced by the oxidation of retinal. All of the three forms of vitamin A have a common trimethyl cyclohexenyl ring, that is also known as the beta ion ring, and all trans isoprenoid side chains with alternate double bond. The provitamin, that is the plant sources, this is known as the carotenoids. Reason being the presence of beta carotene, it can yield 2 retinol when metabolized in the body. The beta carotene, it is found in the plants, and it has 2 beta ion ring connected by a polyprenide side chain. This is the structural organization of these carotenoids and retinoids. In it, the all of three forms, that is retinol, retinaldehyde, and retinoic acid, this is comprising of a cyclohexenyl ring, while the beta carotene has 2 beta ion rings which are connected to a polyprenide side chain. Now we'll discuss the absorption, storage, transport, and excretion of this vitamin A. So, starting with the absorption of vitamin A, the retinoids, these are absorbed in this fashion that the retinyl esters, they are broken down into free retinol and fatty acids in the small intestine in the presence of bile and different digestive enzymes. They integrate into the micellase and get absorbed into the lumen of intestines. Once absorbed, the retinal esters reformed in the intestinal cells, and the 90% of retinoids can be absorbed. On the other hand, the carotenoids, they are absorbed intact and the absorption rate is much lower. The intestinal cells can convert carotenoids into retinoids, and they are approximately 80% absorbed, and it is passed along with the fat through a lymphatic system into the bloodstream, and the absorption is poor in the case of diarrhea, jaundice, and abdominal disorders. The absorption increases if taken with the fat. Vitamin A, which is not absorbed, is excreted within 1 to 2 days through the feces. The vitamin A is transported in two forms in the plasma. The ester is transported in association with the beta carotene in the beta lipoprotein fractions. The physiologically active vitamin A, that is retinol, on the other hand, is attached to a specific protein that is known as the retinol-binding proteins and transported to the liver. Although they are fat soluble, they are carried in the bloodstream bound to the different lipoproteins. The carotenoids absorbed from the diet in an unchanged form enter the lymphatics in association with the chylomicrons and follow the transport to the liver. They are transported via chylomicrons from intestinal cells to the liver, from where they are transported from the liver to the target tissue with the binding with the retinol, that is known as the retinol-binding protein, and from the intestine to the livers they are transported through they are transported along with the chylomicrons, and from the chylomicrons they are attached to the retinol-binding protein and they are transported to the target cells. In this diagram it is being excreted. The retinol esters, they are converted into the retinol and absorbed to the intestinal cells, and now they are transported along with the chylomicrons to the liver where they are being stored, and from the liver, when they are going towards their target cell, they bind to the retinol binding proteins and transported to the their target cells. Regarding the storage of vitamin A, the liver has an enormous capacity to store in the form of retinol palmitate under the normal conditions, and the well-fed person has a sufficient vitamin A reserves to meet the need for 6 to 9 months. Regarding the excretion of vitamin A, it is not readily excreted. The kidney diseases and the aging increases the risk of toxicity. Reason being, the excretion is impaired. The excretion of the urinary retinol, it may increase significantly during the pregnancy and its complications. In this lecture, we have discussed the classification of vitamins, difference of fat soluble and water soluble vitamins, introduction and sources of vitamin A, the preformed and the provitamin form of vitamin A, the absorption, storage, transport and excretion of vitamin A. We will end up this lecture over here, and the function of vitamin A, it will be discussed in the next lecture. So thank you very much. We will meet inshallah in the next lecture. Okay. Allah Hafiz.